Barry the Beaver here with Tyler Coe and Hannah McCarthy. Tyler, Hannah, how are we today?
Doing good. I'm doing good. How are you, Tyler? How are you, Barry?
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome because I get to see you guys.
I am doing splendiferous seeing your beautiful faces. My two favorite directors. Now,
Do you have I was like, do you have your two favorites? I mean, we're very lucky to even be directing on this show, Tyler, right?
But yeah, both of us are really lucky to be directing on this show because one, I've never directed anything, so I'm not sure why you guys let me do that, but I very much appreciate it.
I'll do anything you say, Tyler, and I mean that.
Be careful with that, Barry. We'll get into trouble.
Now, directors, what does that mean anyway?
It can
That's
mean
a
a lot of
great
different
question.
things, right, Tyler? I mean, I think it can mean
I guess I should have asked this before we started filming.
What does a director do, Tyler?
That's a really good question, Hannah. I'm not sure what a director does. A director they do a lot of things, right? So, Barry, we kind of have to oversee the whole project. So you have to work with a lot of different departments, whether it's the people that build the sets or make the costumes or the people that are actually behind the camera. And then, of course, my incredibly talented cast.
Yeah, we basically get the fun part of the job, which is making the show happen by working with lots of different talented people to do the things they do really well.
And beavers, too.
And beavers, obviously beavers.
I figured.
Working with animals can be a challenge sometimes, but Barry, I got to say, you made it really easy for us.
Oh, well, I mean, it's good that you didn't have to work with any on this production.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to badmouth anybody, but dogs and cats can come with a little bit of an ego. I mean, they've been on the silver screen for a long time, but I got to say, with you checked yours at the door, and it was just a pleasure.
Don't even get me started about those guys. Now, you're kind of a dynamic duo, right?
That's what I always say about us, Tyler. That's what I always say.
That's what I always say.
So who's in charge? Is it a team effort?
She's in charge.
It's Tyler. It's
Nope,
Tyler.
no.
I mean, he's never going to say it because he's too humble, but it's Tyler. I'm here to support all the incredible work that Tyler's doing. And I think if I can speak for you, Tyler, one of the things that made working on the show so incredible was that even when there were people who were in charge of certain things, it was always a team effort. And so even with both of us stepping into directing responsibilities, it was always, Tyler was never like, well, if anything, it was a struggle to get Tyler to take credit for all the hard work that he was doing. But we did work together a lot. I was very lucky to work with Tyler on making sure we were doing all the things he just talked about, getting all the performances, making sure we were covering all the story beats and all of the very important technical, scientific information we were trying to relay. And so it was definitely a team effort, kind of looking at each other and saying, how do we make sure we do all the things? Because it's a lot for one person to try to do by themselves.
It is. And, Hannah would never take credit as well, Barry. I guess that's why they would call us a dynamic duo that don't like taking credit for things. But the cool thing about Hannah, Barry, as a director, is that she has a 360 view of the entire production. She's somebody that doesn't miss anything that's going on set, which is really rare and is really important for all of us to make sure that we're not missing the things that we need to miss, making sure we're staying on task. Because I'll be honest, and Barry, you know this, we were goofing off a lot on set. We got to get wrangled back in. But Hannah's so good about doing that, and there's no way we do this show without her. So we were very, very lucky to have her on this program.
It was a big show.
It was a huge show.
How big was this thing?
Oh, man.
There's so many different ways you can measure it. It was big in terms of the scope of what we were doing. We had, obviously we were working in a studio where we built this really elaborate, beautiful, and yet homey set that we were working out of. But then there were lots of shoots where we were out on location, filming in these different places to get these different types of shots and locales that we wanted to achieve. So just in physical production, there was all this art and all this work that went into building the spaces we were in and getting us the feeling of being in these places that we were trying to place our characters in. And then there was just the crew that went into it. It was a pretty sizable crew. I feel like I look at it, I'm like, surely there were like 100 people. Obviously there were not 100 people, but we had all these different departments and teams working on everything. This was definitely it was a team effort. It took a lot of different departments with a lot of different skill sets to make it happen. And yeah, I'm like, Tyler, do you actually know the number of people on the crew for it?
Man, I think this project, Barry, was really big too in terms of the amount of time that it took. It took 6 years to make this show. It's a long time. And when it comes to the crew overall, at least over 100 people over the years when we were shooting this thing.
Who are these people?
They are some of the most incredible people we have ever worked with, going from our PAs that are people that are typically assistants and they go to get you things, but also our PAs were amazing. They actually saved one of our days, Barry. You won't believe this. We had an issue on set one day that we couldn't figure out something with smoke, and you'll see that in the show. One of our PAs stepped in and solved the entire production and saved the day. So everybody from those people to the people that were working the cameras and the amazing set that was created and people like Hannah and yourself, it was the best crew I've ever been a part of.
And craft services. Barry loves the craft services.
Hannah, we left that out. We had the best food. Oh my goodness.
We had incredible food.
The food that was served on the show was better than anything I've had in like years. Like it was
Certainly better than anything I've ever made myself. I could never make it.
It was like 5 stars. It was incredible.
Wood chip breakfast tacos, a jus de wood chip for lunch, and then I think it was just like a glazed wood chip for dinner. Delicious.
That sounds
yeah,
right.
you gotta vary your wood chip intake.
Now, does it cost a lot to make a show like this?
It definitely does. And I would say even for the amount of, we were able to do this, I feel like with the scale we were trying to achieve, talking about the scope of what we did with how many people, we really wanted to make sure we had people who believed in the project. And because people believed in the project, people went like above and beyond to do really great stuff for it. But we knew we had certain kind of expectations about the scope and the scale and everything we wanted to achieve. And to do that, you want to pay people, fairly. You want to make sure you are getting people who know what they're doing and that you have like all the key pieces of the puzzle. And so to do that, it takes a lot of money. And I feel like we did it even with, the budget that we had. We were still working on a pretty limited budget for the scale of what we were doing. And I feel like because people cared about the show so much, they squeezed as much as they could with every single penny in the budget that we had. And a lot of people, you find like a lot of us were volunteering. We were being on set as extras and doing things to make whatever we could happen. But it takes a lot because you have a lot of different people putting their expertise into the show, a lot of different people working on it. And you want to make sure that you're getting everybody compensated for the incredible work that they're doing. That's not even then factoring in post-production, which is a whole nother side of the process of making the show. It's very easy to focus on, okay, building the sets, hiring the crew, filming it, doing it, being there, getting all the actors, getting everybody to shoot everything. And then you have all of the things you have to do once the show is shot, and then you have to cut it together and hire all your post-production staff. It is a show that required a lot of budget. This is not something, I hope that the show, from looking at it, you can tell a lot of thought, care, expertise, and skill went into it because we hired people who were the best at what they did and cared deeply about the message of the show. And to do that, it requires a pretty sizable budget, right, Tyler?
That's right. And it was, as you said, Hannah, a lot of sacrifice went into this, and we couldn't be more proud of the people that were involved, not only as far as our crew and our cast, but the people that financially supported the show over the years are true believers, that are people that feel like more action needs to be taken on the front line, put their money where their mouth is, and we couldn't be any more proud to have them be our sponsors as well. But yeah, there is a big show, and we did it for a fraction of the cost. Wow. And I still think we put something out there that can go toe to toe with the best films.
Money would help, right?
More money would help, and we definitely could use more money because we want to keep making the show. We're already working on season 2 right now. Of course, Barry, don't worry. I've got plenty of episodes where you're going to be the star.
Phew.
I know we talked about that, so don't worry.
Mm-hmm. It's in my contract.
It is in your contract, which you talk about budget and a big cost.
Hey.
I know I can't.
Hey, you get what you pay for.
I can't really say anything about it on air because I know we also signed an NDA with you on that front. But yes, we could use some more money for season 2, and we're already working on that to make this even bigger and better and expand the things that we want to talk about and bring in a new audience, which is everybody. We need to get every single person watching this show. So that's our goal moving forward.
I had a fantastic time making this show, especially being in Tyler's apartment. Tyler, is that really your apartment?
It is, and it isn't. It's similar to places that I've stayed. Small little cozy places filled with music and filled with art. So it looks kind of like my real place, but it was, kind of made up for the show.
Is it?
Well, I can't tell you that. Only top men know that one. It's a secret about where that's at right
now. Top men?
Yes, they're top men that are out, yes.
Top men. What, is it like a studio?
It was like a studio. So like if you walked on to the set, Barry, it was basically like a sitcom. where you had the lights up above and then we had
Wow.
cameras behind and people that could hang out. So we didn't have a live audience, but there could have been one. I guess kind of the live audience was Hannah and everybody else behind the camera that was trying to get us to act our best, which was always a daily struggle. But yeah, it's a real live TV set, Barry.
Well, I can't wait to be back on set with you, and I can't wait to see the show.
Same here. I can't wait to hang out with you, buddy. So we'd love for you guys to check out our Kickstarter, where you can see what your donations go to, not only the incredible people, but the things we're going to be making and how we get you involved. Because, Barry, I don't know if you know this, but do you know what the abbreviation for this show is?
No, Dr. Erin said she's going to teach me how to read, but we haven't gotten there yet.
That's right. Well, this show is How Are We Today? So it's HAWT. So you know what that means, Barry? It means that if you're a part of the show, whether you're working on it or a viewer, you're a hottie.
The Beaver's a hottie?
That's right. We are all hotties. If you're watching the show, a part of the show, you are an official hottie.
Okay. That's the confidence boost I needed today. Thank you, Tyler.
Absolutely, my friend. Always.
So everybody needs to get out there, support the show, check the link in the bio, okay?
That's right, Barry. Thank you.
We're all in this together.
Beavers together strong. Well, it's apes, maybe.